जय श्री माताजी। ऑनलाइन उपस्थित विश्व के सभी साधकों का सुबह के ध्यान सत्र में हार्दिक स्वागत है। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी को वंदन करके हम सब ध्यान की स्थिति में बैठते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी आज का ध्यान सत्र शुरू करने की कृपया अनुमति प्रदान कीजिए। सामूहिक बंधन लेते हैं। अपना चित्त हृदय में लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी कृपावंत होकर आप हमारे हृदय में विराजिए। श्री माताजी कृपा कर हमारा हृदय प्रेम, करुणा और वात्सल्य से भर दीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माताजी आपकी कृपा में हम केवल शुद्ध आत्मा हैं। तीन महामंत्र तत्पश्चात श्री गणेश मंत्र।
महालक्ष्मी
जय श्री माता जी। संतुलन करते हैं। अपना राइट हैंड पृथ्वी तत्व पर, चित्त ईड़ा नाड़ी और सहस्रार पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के ईड़ा नाड़ी पर तमोगुण के सभी बाधक तत्व भूमि तत्व में विलीन कर दीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर सामूहिकता की ईड़ा नाड़ी शुद्ध कर दीजिए। राइट हैंड गोद में, लेफ्ट हैंड आकाश की तरफ। चित्त पिंगला नाड़ी और सहस्रार पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के पिंगला नाड़ी पर रजोगुण के सभी बाधक तत्व अहंकार आकाश तत्व में विलीन कर दीजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर सामूहिकता की पिंगला नाड़ी शुद्ध कर दीजिए। लेफ्ट हैंड गोद पे, चित्त मध्य नाड़ी और सहस्रार पर। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर आप हमें संतुलन दीजिए, हमें वर्तमान में रखिए। अपना चित्त मूलाधार चक्र पर लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपकी कृपा में सामूहिकता के मूलाधार चक्र पर श्री गणेश तत्व प्रस्थापित कीजिए। चित्त मूलाधार पर श्री कुंडलिनी गौरी माता। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कुंडलिनी गौरी माता साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवै नमो नमः। अपना चित्त मध्य नाड़ी से सहस्रार पर लाते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपावंत होकर आप हमारे सहस्रार पर विराजिए। श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारा आत्म साक्षात्कार दृढ़ कीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमें निर्विचारिता प्रदान कीजिए। हमें निर्विकल्प ध्यान में स्थित कीजिए। जय श्री माता जी। इसी ध्यान की स्थिति में अमृतवाणी आत्मसात करते हैं। विराट पूजा, मेलबर्न, ऑस्ट्रेलिया, 1991, पहला भाग।
Because of distances, and also we had no ashram in Melbourne all these days, I found that the collectivity is not yet properly woven here, and so I think best thing is today we must worship the Virat. Virat is the primordial father, you can say, or the one who is in our brain, acts for our collectivity. As the Kundalini rises, ultimately she ends up by piercing through the fontanelle bone area. Before entering into that, she enters into the Sahasrara. Sahasrara is the area which is surrounded by 1000 nerves, and in the medical terms it is called as limbic area. Now 1000 nerves are all connected to the 16 important nerves of the Vishuddhi. That's why they say that Shri Krishna had 16,000 wives. That is, he had all his powers as his wives, and I have all my powers as my children. So when we are growing in our ascent, in our dhyana, we have to go to our Sahasrara. If the Sahasrara was not opened out, we could not have done this mass realization. How it is connected? The collectivity is so connected with the present day Sahajayoga. Before that, it was just up to the Agya Chakra. But when it reaches the Sahasrara, it enlightens all the nerves, and all the nerves look like flames which are very silent, beautifully colored in all Vibgyor colors. And the appearance of these is so soothing, so beautiful, that there's no better view in the whole world, I think, that human beings can see. So when this Sahasrara was opened out, which we are having now a puja, as you know, in Rome, before that it had to go to the collective. That is, I had to pay my attention to the collective. I had to see the people, their different problems, the permutations and combinations by which they are all suffering. They can all be brought to the 7 major nodes, we can say, but they are also divided into 21. One on the left, one on the right, and one in the center. So we have also whether 21 really basic problems, fundamental problems within us, which we have to solve. We have, in the beginning of Sahajayoga, have tried only to cure people, their physical problems, mental problems, their family problems, financial problems, all kinds of problems have been solved in Sahajayoga. And we have had some very great mishaps in between. As you know, that when they came up to the Agya, they started taking over the whole atmosphere by some sort of a authority which was not God's authority. As a result, many people went out at the Agya. But those who have come to Sahasrara have to understand that collectivity is the basic of your ascent. If you are not collective, if you do not come to the center, if you do not meet each other, then you are like a nail which is cut out of the finger, and the divine has nothing to do with you. You are out of the tree, like the flowers which have come out of the tree can exist for a while, no doubt, but after some time they are dead and finished. So it is important for all of you to understand that collectivity, if it is not established in Sahajayoga, Sahajayoga will die out. I am now going to America, where collectivity has to be really of the maximum nature, but it is not so. There are so many problems on collectivity in America. But still I would say that they realize one thing, that they have to be very collective. The problems are like there are very few people who are Sahajogis there. But among themselves, they understand responsibility. They are all working very hard. They are spreading Sahajayoga. Now you see they have the school breeze started from there. There are so many activities they are doing in America with such a small number that it is amazing how they are managing these things. And they do it very beautifully because they feel joined together. They are so far away from Honolulu to New York. It's such a long distance. But there's such a lot of understanding, such a lot of love and sense of responsibility. Because they are a small number, they feel extremely responsible that we have to be absolutely collective. No question of having groups. Even if somebody makes mistakes or something, they never talk about it to anybody else but to me. They never discuss about each other. They never talk ill about each other. They never form any groups. The children outside go on. Just they can come here, this piece. Can you move a little bit halfway in the there? Just make them space in between. Come now. आपण पुढे यावं. पुढे या. आणखीन बाबा वाटतं तुला पुढे वाटतात. आणखी इकडे येऊ द्या. इकडे. ए हरी इथे घ्या ना. आता पूजास पुढे या मग. हो बरंच पुढे बाबा तू जरा ओढून घ्या. Children can sit in front, they don't occupy much space. Children can even sit on your laps. बाहर कितने लोग हैं? Can you move? You can make a gap in between the. Yeah. Now this is question of collectivity. Bring the children up here. All the children can come now. They can help me in puja. They are very good at helping. Yes. नंतर लावता है काही जरूरी नहीं. Yes, yes. Come now. Poor children were kept out. Can you imagine? Yeah. Sit down, sit down, sit down. तो मागचं सांभाळते. अजून टाका. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Here, sit down. Now. Come now, come now. Come here, come here.
Come on, come here.
आपोआप जागा होती उदय मोठं असलं पाहिजे. Now who are outside now? So well, with small children are they? Come on, come on. I think if you could just sit little, not with such a big asana, a little smaller asana, people can come. Put up one. And I think open one window also is important. Yes, there is some space. If there are 3 cameras, then how can there be space? I think we could have 1 camera in there and they can sit inside, right? All right. You all should sit with one knee up like that, so there's more space. Just like Baba Mama is sitting. एक वरती पण बसा गुडघा थोडा, मग गचागच सगळं बरोबर होतं. Give it in Chaya's lap. तिला वीड आहे मुलाच. Don't spread out yourself. Little bit to pull your one leg like that on top. Yes, one straight, one like this. Even easier to sit that way. Easier to sit. Now this is the sense of collectivity. That it's a small hall, doesn't matter, we are all together. And how are we going to get all of them inside? Because you can't enjoy it unless until all of you are together. Now, everybody has to keep quiet, alright children? All of you, otherwise they'll again ask me to go out. So now, let us see how do we miss out on collectivity. It's a very practical, down-to-earth understanding. First we must know without collectivity we cannot exist. As the body has to be in connection with the brain, in the same way, without collectivity, Sahajayoga cannot exist. Once you understand that, then you have to work it out that collectivity is absolutely established within and without. It is more within that you have to establish than without. Whatever you have within is manifested outside. Now, how do we establish it within ourselves? First of all, we have to understand that now we are the relations of each other. Dhaneshwara has said, Techi soyari kohti. Who's that crying? Alright, Tilaga. I chat with So the first thing is that within ourselves we have to see introspection, with introspection. What are we doing against collectivity in our mind? How our mind is working. I do not know what thing comes first in the human mind about another person. But the first thing is that these are your real relations. And nobody else are your relations. These children are your children, and these men are your brothers, and these ladies are your sisters, and you are one big family together. We are part and parcel of one body. As this hand cannot hit another hand, thank God it doesn't think. Otherwise, as human beings, they might start thinking against another hand. But they don't, because they are connected to one brain activity. So the first thing one has to understand, that do not try to see the defects of another person, but goodness of another person. That is really going to help you the most. Like in India, I see, I don't know, here may be the same. If they know you, supposing, immediately they'll find out, now what work can we take out of this person? If somebody is a minister's brother, immediately they'll approach the minister's brother. Alright, will you do this work for me? Then somebody says, I am such and such, immediately people will think, oh, so what work can we get out of this person? In the same way, you can go a little further in the language of Sahajayoga. As soon as you come to know about someone, you should not think what business I can do with him. I have seen immediately if somebody has money, people will jump at him, all right, let's have the business together. Even in Sahajayoga. Or if there's anything like that, immediately they start employing that person for your purpose. On the contrary, what you have to do, as soon as you know about somebody, then you have to think what goodness he has got. How can I imbibe that goodness within myself? Because we are here to enrich ourselves spiritually. So you must think as first and foremost thing, what can I do to get the goodness of that person within myself? So you'll be looking out for the goodness of that person than instead of looking out for bad qualities. Because bad qualities are not going to nourish you at all. Also, if somebody has bad qualities, no use thinking about you yourself, because if you start thinking about it, they are not going to be improved. It is somebody else's problem. So best thing is to look at another person with adoration and understanding, with love, that he is one of us and what can I use. Now if I have the hand, I don't have to think because we are programmed that way. If I have to hold this, automatically I use my hand, not my feet. I know my hands are going to do. But when I have to walk, I don't walk with my hands, because I know my feet have to walk. In the same way, you have to know which Sahajayogi is going to help you to nourish yourself. Immediately your mind will become very clear. Like now I saw some boy in New Zealand who was really about to be dead. And when he came back, I found the attitude towards him was not kind, as it should have been. But this is the best chance where you should see how you can practice your compassion. We talk of compassion. Now let us see how we can practice our compassion when this boy is so sick. On the contrary, everybody was harsh on him, passing remarks at him, doing things like that. Because we have to have compassion. Now Mother has said we have to have compassion. Now where do you have our compassion? On the walls, where do we use our compassion? Where do we use our compassion? So Sahajayoga is to be practiced doesn't mean that to sit down with my photograph all the time. Doesn't mean that. It means you practice compassion. You practice that. Then you have to practice love. Now how do you practice love with others? If you love someone, what do? You try to please that person. Small things can make people very happy. I know you all try to please me very much. You'll give me presents, you'll find out things which are good for me, you'll go out of the way, buy sweet flowers for me, beautiful things you do to please me. I am over pleased, I must tell you. But I am more pleased, much more pleased, if you understand collectivity and try to please each other. Such a person pleases me the most, that the attention is more on pleasing each other. As soon as you decide you have to please others, your tongue will become different. It will become a sweet tongue. The tongue which was like a pair of scissors becomes such a beautiful thing of honey. Then you talk little, but you really pour honey on another person, and another person really enjoys it. So now the practice love, where do you practice? Ask your question. Where do I practice love? What do I love? We love our house, we love our photographs, our decorations, everything. But do I practice this love on my wife or on my husband or on other surgeries? In our Sahaj culture, we have to practice compassion and love. And thirdly, we have to practice patience. I know some children are maybe little more mischievous, some are less mischievous. Maybe some people are very talkative. Sometimes really they give me also a headache. They go on talking so much. Sometimes I think it's good because it's a rest for my mouth. One way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is just switch off your mind, let him talk, take it out, whatever you want. Once he is finished with it and fagged out, then he won't bother you much. And also he'll feel satisfied that somebody has listened to his practice. So patience is needed. And patience is needed in such a way that others should see your patience. Yesterday, for example, I was sitting for about, I think, 3 hours shaking hands with all sorts of people and all types of problems. And the person who came last, he said, looking at your patience, I developed my own patience. And love gives you patience. This love nourishes you. I'm telling you, it's absolutely down to earth method. Here I have not mentioned that you trust God. I'm just saying trust yourself. Absolutely down to earth, because we are talking about your brain. Now we have been saying that we have to forgive everyone. But we don't practice that. Small things like mad people we remember. Well, only I had heard that snake has this capacity to remember if somebody has hurt him. But here I find human beings have no less capacity. Whatever has happened 13 years back, 15 years back, they all remember each and everything. Whatever has hurt them. But how they have hurt others, they don't remember. How they have been nasty to others, they don't remember. Because this is a human mind which has got the ego. It can go on hurting others, it doesn't feel anything. And the superego which goes on receiving all the hurts and always complaining about it. So it is for you to realize that you are the one who is breaking the collectivity. First of all, we had horrible leaders here. That's how our collectivity was very poor. But now we are getting soberer people, better people. Also for Melbourne, I'm thinking of getting somebody elderly for you to be the leader, because I think Greg is full with responsibility. So I thought of Enzo and I asked him and he has agreed. So now in Melbourne we'll have somebody staying in the ashram who is a retired man, who will look after you, will do everything that is possible to look after the collectivity of Melbourne. But you have to know that I have one connection with you through your leader. That doesn't mean you cannot connect to me. Like supposing there's a pin and you put the pin to me, immediately my hand will go off. Means there's a reflex action also. But mostly everything is reported to the brain. In the same way, everything should be reported to the brain. But from the very beginning, if you develop a kind of a criticizing attitude towards your leader, then it becomes very difficult for the leader as well as for you. First, you should not criticize. Don't use your brain for criticism. Already criticism has been too much in the West. I mean, they have got now technique of criticizing. All the art is finished because of the critics. The artists are afraid to show their paintings. Artists are afraid to show their creations because they will be criticized. Now the only thing that is left are critics. And the critics are criticizing critics, that's all. There's no creativity, nothing. So try to appreciate everything. Children are producing pictures, paintings anyway. They make sometimes my faces very funny when they draw. Not the children, even grown-ups. Doesn't matter. I appreciate it. It's very good, wonderful, very nice. To encourage that person. So criticism should go out of our mind, but appreciation should be practiced. Appreciation of others' children, appreciation of other people is very important. But that doesn't mean that you appreciate all others and torture your wife or torture your husband. That also is an imbalance. First responsibility is your family, but you should appreciate others. And this comes when you have no jealousies about anyone. This jealousy, I don't know from where it comes. So I don't know this quality of jealousy, why there is jealousy. So also if you have jealousy, you have to use it for the right purpose. And what is the right purpose is that you should be jealous of a person who is spiritually higher than you. And you practice it that you become better. If jealousy is for competition, then you compete with a person who is more compassionate, more loving, more sacrificing, more patient. So this competition becomes a very healthy competition and the collectivity becomes very nourished. Now try to feel that you are all part and parcel of one personality. Try to understand this and practice this. This will help you a lot. Little things like buying a little present for someone. You see something, oh, this will be very nice for this purpose. We have officially decided that the men should not give presents to women and women should not give presents to men. But if she is your sister, Rakhi's sister, you can give, and the Rakhi sister can give to the brother. But otherwise, one should not do that. We have done it because I have seen it creates problems. But that doesn't mean you hate women or hate men. But a distance has to be maintained of purity. Till you become completely innocent, is better is to keep that distance.
जय श्री माता जी, कृपया ध्यान की स्थिति बनाए रखें। जय श्री माता जी। श्री आदिशक्ति मंत्र। ओम त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवै नमो नमः। आरती की तैयारी करते हैं।
श्री करके साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिने मोक्ष प्रदायिने माताजे श्री निर्मला देवे नमो नमः श्री निर्मला देवे नमो नमः श्री निर्मला देवे नमो नमः बोलो श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी की
जय। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आज का ध्यान हम आपके श्री चरणों पर समर्पित करते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, कृपा कर हमारे लिम्बिक एरिया में श्री विराटांगना की शक्ति जागृत कीजिए। हमें सामूहिकता में प्रस्थापित कीजिए। हमारा उत्थान मध्य से कीजिए। माता जी, कृपा कर हमारा क्रोध, आक्रामकता, कुसंस्कार नष्ट कीजिए और हमें संतुलन में प्रस्थापित कीजिए। हमें आत्म परीक्षण करने की क्षमता दीजिए। कृपा कर हमें विराट का अंग प्रत्यंग बनाइए। श्री माता जी, हमारे बीच आपसी प्रेम और भाईचारा प्रस्थापित कीजिए। हमें करुणामयी बनाइए। कृपा कर हमें सहज संस्कृति की मर्यादा में रखिए। हमें सहनशील बनाइए, क्षमाशील बनाइए। कृपा कर आलोचना करने की बुरी आदत हमसे निकाल दीजिए। ईर्ष्या से हमें दूर रखिए। आपसी प्रेम और सम्मान वृद्धिंगत कीजिए। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपके श्री विराटांगना स्वरूप को हम हृदय से वंदन करते हैं। परम पूज्य श्री माता जी, आपके श्री चरणों पर हमारा कोटि कोटि नमन, कोटि कोटि नमन, अनंत कोटि नमन। जय श्री माता जी। सामूहिक बंधन लेते हैं। जय श्री माता जी। आज के कार्यक्रम, आज शाम का ध्यान ठीक 7 बजे प्रतिष्ठान पुणे यूट्यूब चैनल पर लाइव प्रसारित होगा। आज का ध्यान सत्र यहीं पे संपन्न होता है। अब हम सहज संगीत का आनंद उठाते हैं। आज का दिन सबके लिए आनंदमय, मंगलमय रहे। जुड़े रहने के लिए धन्यवाद। जय श्री माता जी।
चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई। श्री निर्मल माँ चरण कमल सुखदाई, श्री निर्मल माँ के चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण जग जननी जगपालिनी, 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 भवसागर पार लगाई, भवसागर पार लगाई, देखो माँ की कृपा हुई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, श्री निर्मल माँ के चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण चरण कमल चरण कमल चरण कमल चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, श्री निर्मल माँ के चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल सुखदाई, चरण कमल, चरण कमल, चरण कमल सुखदाई। कैसे गुण गाऊं श्री माता जी के, 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 कैसे 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 गुण गाऊं श्री माता जी के, कैसे गुण गाऊं श्री माता जी के। सहजयोगदायिनी श्री निर्मल माँ के, सहजयोगदायिनी श्री निर्मल माँ के। माँ अवतार माँ आदिशक्ति के, कैसे गुण गाऊं श्री माता जी के, कैसे गुण गाऊं श्री माता जी के। माँ है लक्ष्मी सरस्वती काली, सरस्वती काली, माँ है लक्ष्मी सरस्वती काली, दुर्गा भवानी महिषासुरमर्दिनी। माँ है लक्ष्मी सरस्वती काली, दुर्गा भवानी महिषासुरमर्दिनी। भवसागर को पार करानी, भवसागर को पार लगाने। माँ अवतार माँ आदिशक्ति के, कैसे गुण गाऊं श्री माता जी के, कैसे गुण गाऊं श्री माता जी के। शक्ति रूपिणी जय जगवंदिनी, शक्ति रूपिणी जय जगवंदिनी। त्रिभुवनेश्वरी जगत जननी, त्रिभुवनेश्वरी जगत जननी। सत्ययुग का प्रारंभ करने, सत्ययुग का प्रारंभ करने। अवतार माँ आदिशक्ति के, कैसे गुण गाऊं श्री माता जी के, कैसे गुण गाऊं श्री माता जी के। कैसे आ माताजी के कह